Greetings, boys and ghouls. We're about to paint the third painting, and today, I don't know if you can see it too good. That's what we're going to be painting, a Joshua tree. So, I don't have any good pictures of it that you can see except on the tablet, where then we'll be using, hopefully the tablet will not mess up. Now, this one here is going to be a little different. For one, we're going to be doing it on a much bigger slate than we did on the other two. You can see the difference. So we're going to start with that. And this one here is also going to be different in the fact that we're going to have blue introduced here. Now, blue I haven't used in any of the other colors because I've been using oranges and yellows and other things of that sort. But we're going to be starting with blue today. A nice big blue band right through here and wipe it down. So let's go ahead and do that. And we're going to be using different colors of blue. I've got some different shades to work with. But we're going to go in right through here and just kind of pull that paint to its limit, and then I'll wipe it down some. Alright, now go ahead and grab my paint rag and wipe this down and put the blue to one side for a minute. Now that's Summer Sky, I believe, yes. Which I think is a beautiful shade. Now, I had a little bit of trouble with this slate. I had a staple that the store had put in right up here. I'm hoping that the paint will deal with it. Now, the next color we're going to be going with is kind of a bluish green, kind of a, I'm going to call it a they call it Key West. I'm hoping it's not going to be too wet a color to go in this, but we'll see. So we're going to go ahead and get our blue brush, or our brush again, blue brush. Okay, now get a bit of this. We're going to come over here, grab a bit of this. Now we're going to come up here. See, that's almost a turquoisey. And I want to do that and kind of, I do want it to kind of blend a little bit around the edges. Make it a little bit wider. Yeah, the Joshua tree is going to be the last one. Now, we've done the saguaro and the prickly. Now we're going to do the Joshua tree. Now, the darkest shade of blue is going to be up at the very, very top now. And I've got some Tuscan teal for that. So, I'm going to come in and just kind of do that. And see, that actually kind of produces a very pretty sort of effect. Check this. I'm checking my tablet, and we'll shake up my paint, the blue paint that I'm using. I'm not using standard blue. I'm using, like I said, Tuscan teal, Key West, and Summer Sky on this. So now right up here towards the top, we're going to go a little bit darker. And it's probably going to look like there's a storm coming in over the desert, which is kind of in its way, kind of a pretty thing. I guess. I'd love to see it. I've never actually been to a desert, which is maybe the reason I'm so fascinated by them. I've always wanted to visit a desert. So I love desert plants and the color and the whole aesthetic of it. Even though I've never been to it, I probably wouldn't like it so much if I had to deal with the heat. But what are you going to do? Oh, there we go. My picture tried to fade on me. Alright, now let's go ahead and get this and let's sort of swipe this down. There we go. Now, go up here to the top, and we're going to use a little bit of, and I'm probably end up having to go and get a couple of other colors as we're doing it. But right now we're laying in the background, so I'm going to use a little bit of this khaki down here at the base of it down here. Let's see if you can see it. I'm hoping you can still see what I'm doing here. I'm going to I'm hoping this weekend we'll be able to do another artistic impressions video with Michael, which I think will be a lot of fun because I always enjoy doing those. Alright, let's get our rag here. I still think we ought to do another dueling painters. That was actually one of the more fun videos we did together for that. There we go. Kind of a beigeish color. Now we're going to come up here with a little bit of dark yellow at the very top. Now I'm taking a little bit of artistic license with this, I know. But we'll do what we got to do. Okay, now. Then we'll have to I'll come in here. And between the sky and the ground, probably a little bit of yellow. And I'll probably put in, because I'm going to blur the backdrop, I always do. Now, go ahead and close up the King's Gold. Set it over here for right now. Grab our paint rag. You know the drill. Now, that's actually kind of pretty on its own, isn't it, guys? Now, let's see, next thing up, we're going to need some, I'm going to go with some brown as the base, and then we'll work in the highlighting on it. Because it's actually a shade lighter, but we're going to use a little brown. I got to shake up this brown paint. I don't want it separating on me. But I don't want anything like a burnt umber, which is going to add a little bit too much red to the thing. I may go back and use a little khaki over the top of it or something. But I don't want it clashing with the sand color at the base. So, see how many minutes we got left. Alrighty. Now we're going to move this over here so I can see what I'm doing. Alright, now I'm going to come up here and I'm going to grab me some more brown paint. And again, I'll probably have to put a couple of coats because this, as you can see, this is attempting to bleed through a piece. So, okay, now then we'll have a few little odd branches coming off of this here. I'm going to come up here and get some of this extra paint and bring it into play up here. Get a little more paint and bring it in here. And we'll be going over it with some stuff because these little Joshua trees look like they're covered in some sort of weird spines. So, there we go. I had to re-up my screen here. Now, and there's also some shading, so I'm going to have to do a little bit of shading. So, now, let's go ahead and I'll start some of the foliage. And then we'll deal with highlights and what all. Now, for that, we go with our friend the pen brush. We're going to be using a lot of him today. Because I'm probably going to go in and do a little bit of detail and wipe it clean, you know. So, we're going to start first with the darker Christmas green. And that's going to make a lot of our spines for the Joshua tree's leaves. Because they're a member of the yucca family, you got to understand. So they're going to be all spiky. Just basically just kind of go in and I'll have to get me a little more paint here. I don't want it bleeding all over, but I do need it to be doing some stuff, so. There we go. Go up here. We got another one coming off up here. So let's do it this way. Everything in the desert has to protect itself. It's curious how that is. Everything has a self-defense. Man has one as well. And that is as it should be. Alright, now we got another one coming off right here. And I didn't put any branch coming off there other than a hint of it, because it is just, in the picture here, it's just littered with spines. So we're just going to literally just draw a bunch of spines. And I'll probably layer these up a little bit, because you got some that are going to be lighter colored than others. So I'm going to put just a shed load of these spines. Okay, there we go. And there's going to be some that's going to be just kind of poking out in all directions. So it's just going to be, over here it's just going to be a matter of doing a bunch of semicircles. Get a little bit more on this brush. Now this one's turning out to be actually very fun. So, yeah, this is actually the counterpoint to a piece that I did that my mother now has of tropical plants, bamboo, palm trees, and various tropical plants. So it's kind of a, if you look at a Joshua tree, it's like a real cacophony of these bushes. So I'm gonna make a few more of these here. So it's just gonna be a wild sort of mess. Now we're going to get a few more of these here. You got a few. This one here is kind of growing at an odd angle on the plant, because it's actually growing straight up. I would have never believed it was going to do that. But what are you going to do? So we're going to be putting spines all along the way. Now, got some that are come off. Remember, I put a branch coming off this way. It's because we're going to have some coming off here. So this is going to be a series of concentric sort of circles of spines. This is actually a pretty good sized species of yucca from what I'm understanding. Like 25 feet tall or something. Anybody that actually lives near the Mojave can tell you. So, which I think is just really sort of neat. We'll have to come in and put our lighting, because I haven't put the shades in yet. Kind of tie this thing together. So It's kind of because over here it's just kind of a cacophony of these spines sticking out in all directions. Definitely knows how to keep away the neighbors. Add a few more up through here. Like I said, it seems like it's just a wagon load of these spikes all over it. And then we'll have to come in, and I'm going to let the tree trunk itself dry, because I got to come in with some lighter color and darker color in places, and put in some now over here we get a little bit more of this. So we've got a few little ones coming off over here. There's, like I said, just kind of a wild death trap of little spikes and knobs. So, we're going to keep putting these on. I'm going to keep getting paint because I don't want to use too much paint and flood the picture, but I also need enough to make sure that I can just continue doing this here. See. Now I got to keep on going. Like I said, there's just so many spines here that it's actually concealing the structure of the tree itself, which makes it an interesting plant in and of itself. There's another one off in the desert, but I really just seemed like it'd be just so complicated, and it's not exactly something that would be just awe-inspiring unless you knew the history behind it. And that would be have you ever heard of a creosote bush? Some of these are up like hundreds of years old, and these things can live pretty long, can live for a long time. These Joshua trees. See, we're gonna have to go in behind this and put some, do the same thing with the lighter colors. Oh, there we go. See how many minutes we got left. 9 seconds. We're gonna start this again. All right, now we'll finish up putting these leaves into place. Because like I said, I'm going to have to come in behind it and put some other stuff in. Put some leaves in behind it too. So that's not bad. Now we are going to have to go in behind it with some khaki or something to kind of make that work. Now we'll put in a few more details and we'll kind of blur out the backdrop, but like we've done, but because there's actually some other Joshua trees in the actual picture, but we're not really going to be messing with that very much. Go for our burnt umber and kind of shade this in where it's needed. Like right in here. all the way down to the forks. All that's going to be shaded in all the way down. Now, also going to be shaded along in here. Which gives you some idea of which way the light's coming from the picture. It's got to be coming over the shoulder of this thing, because you're getting shading up underneath here. And on down a piece, so you know exactly which direction your lighting is coming from. Now, there we go. Let's see here. We are going to come in over here with some lighter colors and do some stuff, but for right now, we're going to go rinse off my brush and go with the fresh foliage or the kiwi, and let's see what looks better. Probably the fresh foliage. We're going to have to do the same thing we were just doing with the spines, but we're going to be doing it with this kind of a lime sort of green type coloring. So let's go in and do that. Oh, got too much. Way too much. Okay. Okay. Now it'll be up here at the top where we see this at. So. Okay, get a little bit more here. Now, up here, do the same thing. I'll have to probably come in behind it a little bit. You got some of it that's actually going to be very hard to see up against the sky in the actual picture, so I think I'm fixing to switch to the kiwi. I don't like the way this is looking. It's really not popping the way it really should. Maybe should have got something like some key lime or something. But we'll see. Let me get what I've got on this brush done up here. Oh, got paint on my tablet. There we go. Now, I'm going to go ahead and... It's not looking too bad. I've seen worse. Alright, we're going to bring in the kiwi. Shake that up. I like this color. I really do. Because it's kind of almost like an olive drab. And there are a lot of plants in nature this kind of a shade. And this really pops. I like this coloring on it. See? A little bit more here. Actually, that's kind of working really well. Now, hit just a few little highlights in here. Maybe a little bit along this side here. And then come over here and do the same thing. Give it a little bit more pop, because like I said, that their fresh foliage didn't look near as, I just didn't like the look as well. But this actually works, and it'll actually kind of bring out the colors that I'm looking for. But now, go ahead and bring these colors together as well. I might just go in with just a little hint of yellow eventually. Up here on top, kind of on the very tippy top of these things. That looks good. That looks real good. Now, let's go in with just a tad bit of sunny yellow up at the very top here. So we're going to wash the kiwi out of our brush. The kiwi, by the way, isn't really actually a name for the... It's not actually a New Zealand native. It's the Chinese gooseberry. True story. Now, this yellow might actually do the job that I need over here on these spines too. So we'll do that too. And guys, when I'm done here, I'd like some comments below to see which one of these you guys like best. So we're not actually done with this project, but I'm going to have to take a hiatus from it when I'm done, because I'm waiting. I've got to get a piece. I'm waiting for something to arrive so that we can finish it up, because what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a specific... I've got a specific vision for how this thing's ultimately going to be displayed. I'm just kind of touching it up around here. Just kind of a few isolated ones here. Just to kind of make it look like there's some that are being really illuminated here. I like that. Now, let's go over here and just kind of put our spikes down on this thing. Then we'll move in. This thing's covered in little tiny, looks like dead leaves almost. And I'll probably come in with some other colors to kind of give it a bit of contrast. Don't ask me why I like desert stuff, I just do. And we're gonna put all this on here, and I'll probably go in with some dark colors. Maybe some of that burnt umber, and come in there and put the spines on myself there. There we go. I'll probably come in and highlight maybe this with a little bit of King's Yellow or something. King's Gold. There we go. Let's rinse this off, and I'm going to go in with a little King's Gold to make this pop just a hair. Kind of give it a little bit of texture. Knew this one was going to be a little more labor intensive due to all the little details on it, because it's going to be loaded with little bits of this and that. I need a little bit, maybe a brighter color. We'll go with some of this, but then we're going to come in and do some more. Let's see here. Actually, that works pretty well over here in the shadows. Get some more paint and kind of get it off here. Now then, see here, kind of get a little bit of the excess off. I'm just going to hint. I'll probably go over here and just use a little burnt umber to do that, because that looks good so far. Kind of dig it. Kind of dig it. Now, let's go in. I'm going to use maybe a little bit of this. I wasn't going to use this burgundy for much, but I think I'm going to use a little bit of it to kind of put the spines over in the shadows here. So let's rinse off my brush so I don't cross-contaminate my paint. And let's grab some of this here burgundy and see how this looks. Oh yeah, that's perfect. See which way the spines are going. It's over here, it's not going to be so much that you need to see every single detail. Just enough to kind of get the point across. Let's see. Oh, there we go. Now, so I'm just going to put a little hint of this all the way down here. Now, I kind of like the way that's looking. It's coming along. Now I'm trying to debate whether I want to put anything else in the details of this or just leave it like it is. I'm leaning towards just kind of leaving it, but I think we need something else. So, I mean, it's kind of bare. It's kind of sparse. But, let's see. Definitely a Joshua tree, but do we need anything else? And I mean, I'm the artist, I can take a little bit of license. Do I want to add any more century plants, some more cacti maybe? Maybe I'll put a little bit of a organ pipe cactus or something over in this corner. Just kind of a hint at it. I don't want to go too nuts. Just kind of a hint. Maybe like a little organ pipe cactus or something coming up here. Then we'll have to darken it just a bit. It's kind of Just hint at it. Then we'll have to do some shading. I kind of went off the rails here because I actually did, this was actually a depiction of an actual tree. I'm just kind of embellishing a little. Just simply because I think this painting needed a little bit of balance. Maybe put a century plant or something over here. Just to kind of fill in some space. Now, let's go ahead and rinse my brush off and grab some kiwi. And seeing as the ground's way down here below screen, you're kind of looking at a slight upward angle with the Joshua tree at the center of the center stage. You really don't need shading on the ground like you did in the other, and that's so, you know. Okay, I'm going to have to come over here and do the same. Kind of put some highlights in. Now, that looks really good. I'm happy with this so far. Now, I'm going to go in and get myself a... Alright guys, we're back. Now we're going to go in for a little evergreen and see if I can put some shading into place on it. And I may end up having to mix it with a little something or even use a little black or something. Let's see if this works. No, that's just too dark. I'm going to have to use maybe a hint of something. Don't really want to use black because it's just not that dark. Don't think I've got any darker shades to work with. I've got some Christmas green. That might do the job. I'll have to get me some thicket this next week because that actually does the job well. Oh, that'll work. It's subtle, but it definitely put just a hint like an organ pipe cactus or something over here. Now, I'm going to go ahead and let's get back into our daffodil yellow or yellow flame. This is yellow flame. I thought this was daisy yellow, but this is yellow flame. What we're going to do now is just kind of go down here and just put some hints at spines. I don't want to have full-on spines, but I do want a hint of spines. There you go. Now, I would say the only thing remaining is to sign it, and we will do that now. Now, what color do we want to use? I like this. We'll go with burnt umber because it kind of fits in with the theme. So let's go ahead and put our VM on this dude. And then we'll lay these up side by side. Now I gotta find a spot to put a VM that no one's gonna notice. There we go. Now, rinse off this pinpoint brush, and let's take a look at the 3 of them. Let's bring all 3 pictures of the triptych in. See, that big one's going to be in the middle because I wanted it to be different from every other one in the series. See what I mean? This one really kind of jumps out because of the blue sky. And it looks like there's a storm coming in over the horizon. And that one looks like it's maybe in the shadow of like some sandstone, and that's like evening. And then you can see maybe a hint of a rock back there, but like I said, I always blur my backgrounds just a hair. Kind of keeps some mystery. So if you guys like this video, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, hit the bell to get notified, and I will see you guys on the flip side. Don't forget to follow us on Pinterest, Patreon, and Facebook. And while you're at it, don't forget to go check out Michael at Artistic Impressions with Michael. Without him, I wouldn't be painting right now, so... And he's a far better painter than me. So go ahead and go do that, and God bless, and I'll catch you guys on the flip side. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye, and God bless.